poppin', beautiful people? Welcome to the Mrs. Best Reviews channel. I am Mrs. Best. We are here to do our weekly recap of The Chi. This is season 8, the final season, episode 5. This episode was titled The Dead of Winter. I do appreciate everybody who has been taking the time to watch and support these reviews. It does mean the world. I also hope that you consider liking the video on your way in or out. Shout out to everybody who watches. Don't be afraid to leave a comment on how you felt about the show. If you feel like I left anything out, all of those good things. Also, don't be afraid to leave suggestions for other shows that you'd like to see me cover. But let's get into this episode. Honestly, it was a great episode. There just wasn't a lot in terms of like review wise that I could really take notes from. So I'm gonna just go over kind of the main points because it low key felt like a filler episode a little bit, or to like take us to the next point of the plot, if that makes sense. But we start with Nuck and Tiffany. They are having a talk. Things have not been going well for Nuck and Tiff, especially since people are hinting that, as we know, Nuck had something to do with Rob's death. But it looks like that information is getting closer and closer and closer to Tiffany, which is going to be a thing. And then we also have to remember that Papa has been looking into who killed Pastor Zeke, which Nuck also connects to that. So this definitely, like, based on how the episode ends, because I don't want to give spoilers to everybody, based on how the episode ended and what we know about Nuck, I am not surprised. But Nuck tells Tiff, because she's wanting to know, like, what did Bakari mean when he said that people gonna find out what you did? And what Nuck ends up doing is, instead of saying anything about Rob or Pastor Zeke, he says that he snitched to Toussaint, who was working with the feds for protection of himself. And Nuck was concerned, but then Tiff seemed more mad that she was with the snitch. But it's like, I guess in his mind, she would be more okay with being with the snitch than being with the person who killed her baby daddy. Like, she had to go through her pregnancy alone. Like, the shit run deep. So I'm looking at Nuck and I'm like, it was smart to lie, but then not smart, because it's going to bite you in the rear end. If you lie, it's going to make it that much worse, especially with someone like Tiff. But in my opinion, Nuck is on borrowed time, because you killed my baby daddy. If somebody played with Mr. Best, that, what did Mama Joy say on Housewives of Atlanta? Ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low to keep me up off your ass. Like, that would be me. Like, I'm gonna come for you if you come for mine. So we will see more and come back to Nuck. We then see Nora. For those who don't know who Nora is, this is the young lady that Patience worked with and was working to protect, in order for her to let the cops know, like, hey, she was with Rashad the night that Alicia was unalived. Now, we know that she's in danger, and we know that she's supposed to be watched, and Rashad's been stressed about this. But we see Reg and his stud gangster sniping through a window across the street. The chick's on the phone, just talking, carefree, thinking she's safe, and they snipe her through the window, so it looks like they were able to still kill her. I'm wondering how that's going to work for the case. I'm also wondering how that's going to work out for Rashad and Victor. Like, are they going to suddenly say they got to go back to jail? Like, anything could happen, you know, anything could happen. But I'm also knowing that Rosalind Perry is likely behind this, because Rosalind's lurking, because we know Candy's busy, but Rosalind's definitely has something to do with it. But they carried out their mission beautifully. They did it quick. They wasted no time. But I did notice that Nora was on the phone with somebody when she was shot. So I'm wondering if the person that she was talking to will, like, wonder or come looking for her. Because if I'm on the phone with someone and I hear something and then they just drop and stop talking and all of that, I would definitely be coming by. So I'm wondering if that will be of any relevance later. We later see Patience. Oh, I skipped ahead. Emmett caught his son Devontae on the couch in the household where a lot of people live. They caught Devontae pretty much on the couch watching pornography. I just don't understand why he would do it in the open, you know, but he's just a kid. But Keisha's letting Emmett know that he's going to need to have the talk with Devontae. Like once they start going and looking at porn, that means they're curious. They got questions and urges. Go talk to them about that. I do think that is the right thing to do and the responsible thing to do. Now, we then see Patience and Rashad having dinner with each other. They are dating now that she's no longer his attorney. And I'm wondering if because Nora was shot, if Patience is going to have to like get back to work as an attorney and won't be able to date him anymore. But Rashad learns from Patience that she has an 11-year-old son who we know is one of Devontae's little friends. And she pretty much lets Rashad know that he cannot meet her son until the son's father approves, which I actually think is a responsible thing. I think it's responsible. I also think it shows co-parenting, like at least the effort at co-parenting, if y'all know what I mean. And I think the effort is really where things count. But we'll see later what happens with that. Now, Lene is afraid in the house because she done put Bakari out, and she's still living in a neighborhood that's not the greatest, and she's hearing the gunshots. She's afraid in a big old house. So she texts Bacardi, or I keep calling him Bacardi. Y'all forgive me. I don't even drink Bacardi is the crazy part. And I keep saying Bacardi. I don't know what the hell wrong with me, but I'm just human. Forgive me. I'm not perfect. But Bakari comes over because Lene texts him he's scared, and that's his boo. He gonna come through. He gonna come through. She gives him some, she gives him some. And afterward, he's like, so are we back together? And she's like, no. And I was cracking up because they just so young. It's like, it's very clear you love him and he love you. Like, Lene, your man is in the streets, but look at where you grew up. Look at who your brother is. What did you expect, girl? Just keep uplifting him and be with him. Since you're going to be giving and slipping him the coochie anyway, you may as well just be with him. But, she doesn't want him to be in the streets. She feels like he's more committed to the streets than her, which he kind of did say that and make it seem like that. But I'm rooting for Bakari and Lene, even though I feel like Bakari may end this season of The Chi either dead or in jail, but I'm still rooting for them in my little brain. Let me know how you guys feel about Bakari and Lene as a couple, but I am rooting for them. Emmett does have the talk with Devontae. It took up a couple minutes of this episode, like a couple chunks of minutes of this episode, but I'm not mad at it. While I was like, okay, can we get to some fucking action? At the same time, I kind of appreciated it because I feel like a lot of people are uncomfortable with the idea of having to talk or unsure about when they should have the talk with their kids, if they should, how it should be done, what it looks like, what type of questions. Scenes like this are helpful to some people, fictional or not. It was relatable. It was well put together, in my opinion. And it also shows the importance of having a mother and a father present, whether it's blood or not, but just having male and feminine influence, because Keisha was reminded Emmett of the fact that, like, you gonna have to talk to him not just about sex, but about the intimacy and how you can sexually assault someone without actively, penetrating them, and consent and all of these things that are important. So I did appreciate that scene from The Chi. I think it's wonderful that they're encouraging like Black fatherhood conversations and things that may be difficult and relatable for people. However, y'all cracked me up when that little boy said, can I nut on girls' faces? And Emmett said, yeah, just ask for permission. I said, my God. My God. The key is consent, y'all. The key is consent. Moving forward. Rashad meets with Patience, and Rashad is actually getting to meet the baby daddy of Patience. At first, he's acting like it's a problem and all of these things, but he does eventually approve of Rashad. So we will later on see that Rashad, I know I'm going out of order, but later on we do see that Rashad does meet Patience's son, and they see on the news, actually, after that meeting, that Nora has been killed. So it looks like Patience and Rashad are aware of that, and they're definitely going to be coming back to that, and I think that's going to be a big focal point for the rest of the season. Now, Lene went to the club looking for Tiffany, but Tiffany was not there. She actually ran into Victor, and Victor can tell that Lene is scared. And what Lene is afraid of is this recording that Kenya played for her of Zay saying that his cousin Nuck was the one who killed Rob. So, you know, Lene is scared and Victor is aware of it, but Victor's for the kids. You know, he's always kind of supported the kids and not been a person that's not safe for the kids. But he also has his own stuff in his head and what he wants to get done. So he asked Lene to play it for him, and he does eventually play the recording for her. And once he hears it, he asks who else has heard it, and she says no one else but her and Kenya. And he asked her to send a copy of the voice note to him. And child, she sends the voice note to Victor, and you know, he's telling her that things are going to be okay. And then in another quick scene that they cut to, we see that Victor took that voice note to Smokey's and presented it to Emmett and let him know. But Emmett doesn't really want much to do with it. We're going to fast forward to put a pin in that because it's like not a lot happened, but then a lot of stuff that was important that I think is going to set up for the rest of the season and to give us that final good ending to The Chi is occurring because, you know, I know that Victor gonna play the note for Tiff, and I know anybody who watches the episode knows he's gonna do that too. But before we get there, Reg and Jake have a crazy exchange. Now it seems like Reg is upset because Jake is trying to plead with Reg to not work with Bakari. Everybody wants Bakari to be better than the streets. They want him, especially away from Reg, if he's gonna be in the streets, because Reg is someone that's wild and reckless. And, you know, it really shows how far Jake and Bakari have come because at first they really didn't rock with each other like that. But now they've really become friends and Jake is loyal to his friends. Okay. And Reg ain't shit. Reg done beat Jake real bad, treated him like crap, almost had him gangbanging. Like, yes, Reg raised Jake. That's his brother. He loves him, but he's just not good for him. And I think it's hard for him to see Jake becoming a different type of man. But they get into it. Reg is pretty much like, yeah, I'm crazy. You ain't shit to me. And then he shed a little bit of a tear. And I saw people, I'm in the Facebook groups and stuff online, and I see people laughing at the fact that, you know, Reg was in tears and did all this stuff, but then upset that Bakari, or that, you know, Jake refers to Bakari as a brother. But listen, the way Reg be doing people, let that nigga cry. That nigga can shed a tear or two. Let him feel some discomfort. Okay? Let Reg feel some discomfort because Reg be doing too much. And I wouldn't even mind Reg the way that he was if he was like nicer to his brothers. It's not enough just not to kill them. Like, can you be a little kinder to them, please? Lord. But Angie and Smitty is a friend of Nuck who was running with his crew again. Angie, who was played by Kyla Pratt, they go on a date. Kyla Pratt confronts him about the concerns, or not Kyla Pratt, Lord, let me call her by her character name. Angie confronts Smitty about the rumors and concerns about him beating on women and doing things of that nature. He says, you know, telling her that he's changed, and it's looking like she's going to give him a chance, but I'm wondering what's going to happen with that. Because he's very close to Nuck. And in the very next scene, we see Victor playing that recording of Nuck's cousin Zay saying that he was the one who killed Rob. And Tiff hears the recording and immediately wants to handle it. In between all of the drama, Emmett and Keisha finally get engaged. I thought it was very sweet. They did a good job. The Riley and Darnell took the kids to the arcade since the kids ain't got their phones and all this crazy stuff because everybody upset at the kids looking at porn, so they took away the phones. They have them out at the carnival. They were able to get engaged. I think it's about damn time. They've matured Emmett and Keisha's characters so much that the next responsible thing for them to do that makes sense is get married. I also respect them for this storyline just because everybody thinks that you're supposed to get married in like this specific order at this age or after dating someone. Sometimes people have their kids first and get married later. Sometimes people take their time. Sometimes people make their mistakes, go through their stuff, and then get married. What matters is that when you do it at a time that makes sense and when you're both mature and on the same page. And they are. And I love the promotion of Black love. So why not, right? Why not? So congrats, Emmett and Keisha in our imaginary The Shy world. Congrats to them. Now, the last thing we see in this episode, and after I seen this scene, I said shit's gonna pop off. It's gonna be a very interesting rest of the season. Because sometimes The Shy can give us those, calmer melatonin episodes. But I love when some shit pops off, and I know this is the final season. All gas, no break. Keep me entertained, please. But Nuck comes home, and it's real dark in the house, and he calling out to Tiff like, where's she at? He goes upstairs, and she immediately lets him know, I know you killed Rob, and popped him with no hesitation with Victor right next to him. Now, I'm not mad at her for doing that quick, because she already said she knew she couldn't trust him. Like, you could tell that Tiff liked Nuck, but knew she could not trust him. Though I have thoroughly enjoyed watching Nuck, he offed so many people. It would be unrealistic to the plot of this show if this man were to just keep living or not at least end up in jail with all that he's done. I am curious with Nuck being dead, how they're going to hide the body. I'm curious with Nuck being dead, what that's going to do about what Papa's trying to find out about Pastor Zeke. Like, him being dead, at first I was like, why would they do that? But now I'm like, it kind of opens up a space for so much more to happen. So I'm going to be looking forward to the rest of the season. Let me know how you guys feel, what your predictions are. If you don't comment, no worries. I still appreciate you for watching. I hope that on the way in or out of this video, you guys consider liking the video. I am in the process of making changes to my channel. I have a bunch of new stuff that we purchased and some that Mr. Best got. Most honestly, the Mr. Best got. Shout out to Mr. OSO Best. The link to his music's also in the description and comments. Stream it. But I have a lot of changes I'm going to be making, getting new equipment, computers, all of that. And I appreciate the support in those watching me in the meantime. I will get out another The Shy review again next week. Also, check out my Raising Kanan review if you are interested in that show. Feel free to suggest shows you'd like me to cover by seeing the link in the description to my Instagram, leaving a comment, sending me a direct message, however you so choose. But other than that, beautiful people, I appreciate y'all, and I will see you on the next review. Bye-bye.